Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing well. This is Radhika here again, and this video is going to be about 22 coping mechanisms. So, let me just give you an introduction to this topic. So, coping mechanisms are techniques that we use to self soothe. We use these to make ourselves feel better in a situation where we are feeling uncomfortable, and we all have coping mechanisms that we have developed either consciously or not so consciously. And the not so conscious coping mechanisms are the ones that usually come from our parents. So if as a child you saw every time your dad gets stressed, he starts maybe getting angry on you, or maybe he starts getting frustrated over small things, or he starts drinking a lot, or he starts eating a lot, or maybe you see him completely shut down, go to his room, and not talk to you at all for a long time. Similarly, you could have seen your mom, like gossip about someone. If she has uncomfortable emotions with a certain person, they might, start making stories about that person, gossiping about them, calling up other people and talking about them, etc. So, as a child, if you have seen your caretakers do this, your parents do this, your birth family do this, it's a very big possibility that you have picked up these coping mechanisms, and you may be using these whenever you feel uncomfortable in life. And for the people who live with narcissistic people, it's common that you will need coping mechanisms, because living with a narcissistic person is not easy. Living in a narcissistic situation is not easy. And also, just generally in life, sometimes you will face some times in your life when you have to make use of some coping mechanisms to get through the day, get through the month, get to the next point in your life. So yeah, so that's why I thought that this video could be helpful to people who watch this channel. And the coping mechanisms I'm going to mention here are are healthy when they are done in a limit, and all coping mechanisms, they are to be done in a certain limit. When you go beyond a certain limit, you can actually develop an addiction for them, and which is not what we want. And that's why I'm listing 22 of them. So you don't always have to go to the same coping mechanism. What you can do is you can mix and match. It's almost like a toolbox that you have, and you can use different tools to solve your problems at different times. So yeah, just a forewarning that do not use these in an abusive fashion, or do not get addicted to using these to feel good. These are to be used only as coping mechanisms when required. And other than that, it's always advisable when you are going through a bad patch in your life to actually deal with it and in the best way possible. But sometimes when you need some time off to deal with it, or you need to like kind of get yourself prepped to deal with it, in those cases you can use these coping mechanisms. But don't always rely on it, and don't make it a crutch, and don't make it like a routine to go back to them all the time. So yeah, that being said, I'm just going to start listing them. So I might look to the side because I have like my notes there. So the first one I have is walking. So walking is an amazing coping mechanism. You can, try to walk bare feet if you can do that, on the grass, or on the earth, on soil. If you have a beach nearby, you can go walking on the beach. The second one is drinking a glass of cold water if it's summertime, or a cup of hot tea when it's kind of chilly outside. Then the third one is eating something sweet. And eating something sweet is usually a good way to get your spirits a little bit high. And it's a guaranteed way actually, because that's the way your body will react to something sweet. So maybe you can go for dark chocolate or fruit or something like dates or something like that. And the dates, the fruits that I find really helpful to kind of lift my spirits are oranges, and because they have like a tanginess to them which kind of brings your spirit up a little bit, and it also affects your sacral chakra and your solar plexus chakra. So I think oranges are very helpful. Even lemon is also helpful, so maybe you can have lemonade or something like that. Also, like I like the chocolate Kit Kat because its tagline is really great. It's like have a break, have a Kit Kat. So you can really give yourself a little bit of a break from whatever you're dealing with. Then the fourth one is music. So music is like the best therapy ever. And I would suggest like try to keep some playlists ready. So I usually like categorize my playlists. So there's a feel good, there's an intense one, there's one which is like purging and cleansing, where you're kind of closing out a cycle in your life and you want to like really shut the door on it. So I have like a playlist for that. And then for gratitude, for feeling love, for feeling unconditional love, etc. So yeah, music really helps. Then the fifth one is popcorn. So I don't know if this is specific to me, but I feel like popcorn as a food has a very feel good quality to it. And maybe it's because we associate it with going to the movies or going to a fair or something like that and having it. So popcorn, cotton candy, all of these foods, and popcorn is healthy too, if it's not so unhealthy. Cotton candy is like all sugar, so it depends if you want to eat that. And then the next one, sixth one I have is exercising is really good. It gets your body moving. Stretching is extremely good when if you are feeling stressed, because your body will have stored a lot of stress in a lot of places in your body. So stretching is good, exercise is good. Then the seventh one is you can give yourself like a foot massage or a hand massage, and you can look up reflexology points to do that, and that can help. So the eighth one I have is watching some relaxing videos on YouTube. So there's a lot of channels on YouTube that have a lot of that have like relaxing videos that have good music on it, and just the whole aesthetic of the video is something that relaxes you. So you can try those. The ninth one I have is just take a complete day off of work, and just use the day to kind of pamper yourself to whatever you want. Then the 10th one I have is um, give yourself small surprises every now and then, and you can make it a habit, not just a coping mechanism. This one you can. So just um, surprise yourself by doing something different. Maybe you can do it once a week, you can do it once in 2 weeks. So maybe just after work, um, go and sit in a coffee shop and have a coffee, or go on a small shopping spree and set yourself a budget and buy something for yourself. Or one day when it's really hot, instead of having lunch, have an ice cream, something like that. So you can keep the surprise element in your life going by yourself. You don't need to put this expectation of having fun in life on someone else. You can do it for yourself. Then the next one I have, which is the 11th one, is write down all your feelings and then later burn this paper that you have written down all the feelings on. The 12th one is sing out loud to songs, maybe in your car. You can do that while you're driving through the city. The 13th one is like dance to some songs. 14th one is meditation coloring. So you can find some, it's called Zen coloring or something like that, but you'll find such books on Amazon where there's like mandala drawings and you can slowly color each one of them. So you can do that. Then the next one, 15th one, is watch a good movie. So some feel good movie that you like, or some classic that you have seen many times but brings a good feeling to you. You can watch those movies. Then the 16th one is drawing or painting. So just try your hand at some art. The 17th one I have is have a shower, a cold shower, a hot shower. You can put some eucalyptus in the shower if it's a hot shower. That will help you, breathe a little deeper, and basically you'll feel a little bit more special while having the shower. Then the 18th one is actually express yourself. So if you feel like crying, cry. If you feel like laughing, laugh. If you feel like shouting, you can shout. If you feel like getting angry, just get angry and get it out there. Then the 19th one is getting physically intimate with yourself or someone else. And let's just leave it at that. But this is also a coping mechanism which is developed in the teenage years, and of course you can use it for the rest of your life after that. And then the 20th one I have is call a friend and vent. Call a friend, ask them if they are free to talk to you, and just tell them that I just want to vent to you today about such and such situation, etc. And then the 21st one I have is read a good book. So, as I said, all of these coping mechanisms can be used in a balanced way, and you can use one or two of these. Or I just gave you a list because uh, sometimes we are feeling a certain way and we don't know what to do about it. So this is a nice handy list that you can keep at your disposal, and you can choose whichever one you are able to do that day. And then again, don't use this coping mechanism as a crutch to not solve the problem which you are coping from. Ultimately, we do have to solve the problem, but these are good ways to, to hang in there while we are getting to the solution. So, yeah, that was this video. And as always, I'm very thankful to you for all your comments, likes, shares, subscribes. And as always, I wish you all a lot of love and a lot of light. Thank you. Bye.